Have you ever sat across from your spouse and in that quiet space between two people, slowly, gently realized that neither of you had anything left to say? Maybe the silence stayed a little longer than it used to. Maybe you let the television speak for you. Maybe you told yourself it was work or age or time, doing what time always does. And somewhere deep inside, you whispered, "This is normal. Kids grow up. Couples drift." But what if the real loss didn't happen when your children finally left the house? What if it happened much earlier, when the house was still full of noise, of footsteps, of life, yet the connection quietly, patiently, almost kindly moved out? Stay with me. Don't rush this moment, because this story may gently change the way you understand the silence in your own home. His name was David, 52 years old, a maintenance supervisor at a public school. His wife, Linda, 50, working part-time at a small local library. They weren't unhappy. They weren't broken. They were simply still running on old, familiar habits. Habits built over years. Years where every conversation had a reason. Homework, schedules, tuition bills. Until love no longer sounded like feeling, and slowly, almost invisibly, became logistics. When the kids were home, silence meant peace. It meant rest. It meant the rare moments when nothing needed fixing. But now, silence meant distance. They still shared the same bed, the same walls, the same mornings, but not the same thoughts. David spoke less, not because he didn't care, but because he felt tired of explaining himself, tired of turning feelings into sentences. Linda listened less, not because she didn't love him, but because her emotions felt louder, heavier than words could carry. Middle age changed them quietly. Energy slowly dropped. Patience thinned. Feelings became harder to name, harder to place, harder to explain. They didn't fall out of love. There was no single moment, no argument, no betrayal. They simply stopped meeting each other as the new versions of who they were becoming. And Linda's day didn't fall apart all at once. It didn't crash. It didn't explode. It wore her down quietly. At the library, her supervisor asked to speak with her. New management, a small adjustment. "You'll be reassigned," he said. Something with less public interaction, less pressure. He meant well. She could hear that. She knew that. But what Linda heard beneath the polite words, beneath the calm tone, was something much simpler, much colder, much harder to ignore. "You're getting older." Words no one wanted to say out loud. Words softened by polite language, but heavy all the same. On the way home, it began to rain. Not suddenly, just enough to soak the sidewalk, just enough to make her hurry. She slipped and fell. Nothing serious, no ambulance, no urgency, no one rushing over. She sat there for a moment, wet, embarrassed, waiting, not for help, just to be noticed. People walked past, eyes forward, footsteps steady. That night, Linda cooked dinner. She set 2 plates, paused, then quietly put one away. When David came home, she almost told him everything: the meeting, the fall, the feeling of being slowly erased. But he looked tired, and she didn't want to become another weight, another problem, another thing to carry. So she stayed quiet, and a thought crossed her mind.
one she had never allowed herself to think before. If I disappeared today, would anyone actually miss me? That question hurt more, far more than the fall ever did. Later that night, David noticed something different. Linda spoke less than usual, moved slower. Her smile arrived late and left early. She said she was just tired, but David knew it wasn't that kind of tired. It was deeper, quieter, the kind that settles in places words can't reach. As they lay in bed, backs turned, facing opposite walls, David stared into the dark, and a thought tightened his chest. What if I've been living next to her, but no longer loving her? Out loud, it felt like losing something precious and realizing too late you don't remember where you left it. At 5 in the morning, David sat alone in the kitchen. No phone, no noise, just the sound of his own breathing. And for the first time in years, he said the truth out loud. I didn't fall out of love. I just put it away and forgot to take it back out. His heart ached, not with regret, but with urgency. He stood up and whispered, I can't wait anymore. If I don't act now, I might lose her while she's still here. And that morning, quietly, without drama, David chose to begin again.
David began noticing her during the early mornings near the staff entrance, the janitor's wife, a small woman with calm eyes, always holding 2 cups of coffee. They were old, not fragile, just slow, moving like people who had nowhere else to rush. One morning, David asked, almost unsure of his own voice, "How do you stay happy?" The woman smiled. "Our kids are grown," she said. "They have their own lives now." She paused, letting the words settle, then added, "That's when marriage really begins." She told him the truth, the kind learned only the hard way. When the kids leave, you either turn toward each other or you quietly disappear in the same house. She continued, gently, without drama. Love doesn't end, it gets buried under routine. Then she offered advice that felt simple, almost too simple to matter. Notice before fixing. Listen without solving. Give without announcing. Choose your spouse again, daily. And finally, she said, don't wait until you're lonely. That means you already waited too long. David stood there, holding his coffee, feeling the warmth in his hands, realizing something profound. This wasn't wisdom from books. This was lived. The rules weren't romantic. They were practical, and they all began in the morning, before the world rushed in. Rule 1. Start the day with touch, not passion. Presence. A hug before the phone. 10 seconds. No words needed. Rule 2. Say something kind out loud. Not advice, not reminders, just simple things. Sleep okay? Drive safe. I'm glad you're here.
Rule 3. Check in, don't check up. One question, one answer. No fixing, no solutions, just presence. How are you really feeling today? Rule 4. Share the children together. When they spoke with their kids, they did it side by side. Same screen, same space. Not as parents managing logistics, but as partners sharing pride. Rule 5. Miss one morning, restart the next. No guilt, no speeches. Quitting, that was the only failure. 30 days to form the habit. 90 days to feel the difference. Week 1, nothing felt romantic. David still woke up early, still sat alone, but he started listening, not to big conversations, not to emotional speeches, but to small, careless sentences, the kind people don't protect. Linda once said, almost to herself, "I used to love that bakery near the old park." The next morning, there was a small paper bag waiting on the table, still warm, no card, no explanation. Week 3, David noticed patterns. Linda paused longer near certain shop windows, mentioned colors she liked, books she once wanted to read. So he brought home things that made no noise. A scarf, not expensive, a used book with a folded page, her favorite tea, remembered, not asked. Linda didn't say much. She didn't need to. She simply stopped eating alone.
Month 2. David stopped trying to impress. He stopped trying to perform. Instead, he tried to notice. When Linda said, almost casually, "We never walk anymore," they walked. No destination, no lesson, no fixing, just steps side by side. The house was still quiet, the same walls, the same rooms, but it no longer felt empty. Month 3. One night, Linda said softly, almost unsure, "You're different lately." David didn't rush to explain. He simply replied, "I finally had time to listen." The change didn't go unnoticed. Their daughter started calling more often, not to check in, not out of worry, but to share. Their son came home on weekends without being asked, and when they did, they noticed it immediately. David laughed more. Linda smiled without forcing it. They looked lighter, younger, not in age, but in spirit. One evening, their daughter said quietly, "I'm really glad you two are okay." What she meant was deeper than words. She no longer felt responsible for their happiness. Knowing her parents were truly happy together gave her permission to fully focus on her own marriage, her own work, her own family. And slowly, gently, the house filled again, not with noise, not with obligation, but with ease.
And for the first time since the kids had left, the silence felt peaceful. Children leaving the house doesn't end a marriage. What ends it is continuing to live as if they never left. Love doesn't disappear with time. It disappears with neglect. In the quiet moments, the missed mornings, the conversations we stop having. Strong marriages after midlife aren't built on grand gestures. They are built on attention instead of assumption, presence instead of routine, choosing each other again after the children no longer need choosing. Because in the second half of life, love is no longer automatic, it is intentional. Tonight, don't fix anything. Don't make promises. Don't bring up the past. Just do this one thing. Be the person your spouse feels safer sitting next to. Sit down without your phone. Listen without correcting. Touch without expectation. Because one day, much sooner than you think, one of you will be gone. And what you'll miss most won't be the big moments. It will be the mornings you rushed, the conversations you postponed, the love you assumed would always be there. So choose again, not loudly, not perfectly, but deliberately. And ask yourself honestly, if your spouse tells this story someday, will you be part of the reason it ended well?